We often travel in our own little bubbles. We live in, a nice area in Melbourne, and, we tend to travel around with the same type of people. We don't get exposure to people who are in need. And there's huge amount of pensioners living below, as I said, the poverty line. About 13% of Victorians live below the poverty line, is my understanding. So when they have pets that make their life better, we need to keep those pets alive and well and healthy.
Jennifer Hunt is the founder and CEO of the Pet Medical Crisis Organisation, and they have an amazing involvement in the community. Essentially, they help people with their pets, and they do it in a very, very value-focused way. And anyone who has a pet knows the deep emotional connection that you have with them. My family, we've got 2 cats, a dog and a rabbit, and they are as much of our family, or involved as much in our family as I am. And their happiness is something that we strive to achieve amongst the entire family. So today, welcome, Jennifer Hunt. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Charlie. Lovely to be here.
So tell me about your not-for-profit and the role that you are playing in the community.
Well, like you, we started off with just a dog running along the beach, and very much a part of the family. Jed was a rescue, and he pulled up sore, and that ended up being that I was that afternoon asked if I wanted to have him killed. And I was thinking, gosh, no, I'm a registered nurse. We fix our pets and we fix our people, and he's part of the family. To me, it was as much like asking, did I want to have my son put to sleep? And it was horrifying. So they said, well, the cost will be $10,000.
Ouch.
And that was a shock, but we just put our kitchen renovation on hold. So that was a no-brainer. We couldn't have a new kitchen without Jed. But along the journey, he then went on to rupture discs on 2 other occasions. So he was the $30,000 border collie.
Oh.
And we realised that most pensioners simply can't achieve that. So the aged pensioners particularly, and people on disability support, they are on a fixed income, so they live very tightly, and to do anything extra, any extra expenses is often beyond them, and the capacity to pay back is not there. So we started a fund, and that just chipped away. I was told I could never make it a DGR charity. It is a DGR charity today, and we have distributed about $500,000 to save nearly 700 pets across Victoria.
Wow. And the group of the community that you're talking about, the pensioners and that group, their pets are with them every single day, aren't they? I mean, this group spends a large amount of time at home, and they spend probably a higher proportion of time amongst their pets than most of the rest of us do.
Absolutely. And for aged pensioners, disability pensioners, their families are busy. They're running, having our normal hubbub type lives that we have. And for them, that companion is so important. But on another level too, when the grandchildren come to visit, to have that pet in the family with the grandparent is really helpful, because it helps them re-engage on that first time they come. They can talk to the cat, the dog, the budgie, whatever it might be. And, it adds a layer. I was in the park the other day. There was a lady a very elderly lady on a walking frame, just going smoothly through the park. She's there every day, and she has her little dog trotting beside her. And my dogs talk to her dogs, and we stop and have a little chat, and she smiles and she's engaged. And I just looked at the quality of her life. And then you measure that compared to just somebody going for a walk on their own. I actually took another lady for a walk around the block with my dog, Jed, when he was disabled. I was carrying him. I said, come for a walk, Marge. We went round the block, and we got home, and she just said, I don't believe it. She said, I've lived here for 30 years, and we've just walked around the block. 5 people have spoken to you, and particularly about Jed. No one ever speaks to me. So there's a great social interaction that occurs, and that's invaluable to our lonely members of the community, I would encourage people to get pets. People say, oh, I'm too scared to get a pet, I'm too old, what would happen to them if something happened to me? There are a lot of programs in place these days. If you adopt from places like Lord Smith, if anything happens to you, they will take that pet back and rehome it for you. So great advantages to owning a pet and to keeping them healthy with veterinary care. We can help with that. And we're getting bigger and stronger. We're about to launch a big dental scheme in 2021. So that will help a lot of pensioners keep their pets really well when they can't otherwise afford it.
Jennifer, the cost of having pets, it can be higher than what we expect, but we don't often find that out until we're standing in the vet surgery and we're being asked to pay quite a lot of money, don't we?
That's it. Our pets aren't covered by PBS, so the cost can be quite significant. And we often say to people, if you need medication for your pets, to ask your vet to give you a script. You can take it to the chemist. The first time I did it, I felt quite awkward getting a canine script or a feline script, but the chemists are very good at doing that, and you can cut down on a lot of costs on your medication doing it that way.
Really? I never even knew you could do that. I thought I had to buy it all from the vet.
No, if there are human equivalents. So my Jed was on Metacam for pain, for his back pain, and the human equivalent is Mobic. You need the vet to tell you the dosage for the weight of your pet, and they will write a script for that, and it's much cheaper to do it that way through the chemist.
How do you decide who you're going to support and who you're not going to support? I would imagine the amount of people wanting support to keep their pets healthy is probably larger than what you got funds to support.
Very much so. It's a constant battle to keep the fundraising going, but we screen everybody who we assist, and we look at their pension type. They have to have their pension details, and their income is very much a part of that. So the taxation department trust us to look after people in what's called necessitous circumstances. So they're people who are struggling financially, and a lot of people are close to or beneath the poverty line. So that's around $370 a week if total income. So to get a bill of $1,000 is really unsustainable for them. So we look at all of those details and ask them to feed back into the charity as well. It's not just a matter of here's a handout for you. We like people to feel very much that they're part of the process to pay it forward. So they pay maybe $20, $100, $300, whatever they can do easily without compromising themselves to eat and pay the rent and whatnot. And we ask them to give us some great photos, to do a little story for the local newspaper, to feed back into the charity and ask for donations to pay it forward to the next person. So they very much don't feel like they're taking from a charity. They become part of a process to pay it forward.
What's the best thing that's happened to you personally since you've done this charity? I imagine there's lots of little stories where you've helped families to bring joy to them. But is there anything that stands out?
Well, one part of the charity that's made me incredibly happy is my 14-year-old son. Duck down. This is James.
Hi, James.
James has been very much a part of the charity from the beginning. Oh, yeah. And he's learnt a lot. Often he'll listen to people who are in great need, and I might say, look, if you put in $50, and then I'll hear James will say, no, excuse me, Mum, we need to stop there. And, look, really, I think $20 is more than enough, or $10. I think you asked someone to pay $10 on one occasion. Yeah. So James is a great regulator, and it's been a great learning for him as a 14-year-old that people have hardship, and we often travel in our own little bubbles. We live in, a nice area in Melbourne, and, we tend to travel around with the same type of people. We don't get exposure to people who are in need. And there's huge amount of pensioners living below, as I said, the poverty line. About 13% of Victorians live below the poverty line, is my understanding. So when they have pets that make their life better, we need to keep those pets alive and well and healthy. But this guy's been a great asset. So
Good on you for your support, James. Well done to you. I've got another couple of quick questions for you, Jennifer. During the lockdown, I mean, you're Melbourne-based. A lot of your focus is around with Victoria. Obviously, you have a lot of people you're helping in Melbourne. I would imagine the work that you were doing was even more important.
Well, I think that's right. A lot of people, we had many inquiries through COVID with people who had lost their jobs or were on job seeker and struggling to make ends meet. I can't tell you how many inquiries we got, and we were able to get each one of those some assistance to get their pets over the line and home again. So it's been a very trying year for everybody in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and the winning the award, the LG Local Legends, what did that mean for you?
That was unbelievable. That was a friend of mine nominated me. She's travelled along the journey with me as well. She's a nurse. And it just came out of the blue, and we were feeling pretty down and depressed. It was Melbourne lockdown, raining all the time. And it was an incredible injection of, one, from my friend, her belief in what I do. It's lovely to feel that people take on an idea that you think is important and appreciate it. That's hugely important. But for LG to get behind us as well and to make such a generous donation was amazing. You know, just it came at a time where the dishwasher wasn't working, the fridge was about to pack up, and you know, for us it was just an incredibly generous and very welcomed reward.
Well, Jennifer, there's a special place in heaven for nurses, and I tell you what, the work that you're doing, it's kind of 2 times the value that we get from one nurse. You're not just the nurse, you're also doing so much to help the community with this amazing not-for-profit pet medical crisis that you're doing. Keep doing it. You must be bringing so much joy to the people that you're helping. And if we can ever help you in any way with what we do, make sure you let us know. We look forward to hearing about your ongoing journey and the many people that you're helping to stay pet friendly.
Thank you, Charlie.